Recording at 12920 Philadelphia Street, Whittier, California. This is Keeping Up with the Nerds, presenting issue 230. I'm Sean.
Rene.
Nick. This is Bryan.
And welcome to the show.
So what got you confused? Philadelphia?
It was in Philadelphia. I was speaking too fast and like...
You fumbled your words?
Yeah.
It's all good.
It's my
all
life.
good. It's your first intro of 2025.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, you're fine, man.
Yeah.
Welcome to
We can
Keeping Up with the
edit that
Nerds, issue 2. No, you don't.
Oh,
Keep it. Issue 230. Don't forget, check out our website, keepingupwiththenerds.com. Check out our socials, Instagram, Facebook, and xmen.com. Check out our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Keeping Up with the Nerds, because we do have skits being uploaded every Thursday now. Again, we're back on that run. And yeah, can you be any more excited?
Yeah!
Oh, God, Jesus. And check out our audio platform, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Podbean. Welcome back, guys.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
How's your guys' week been?
It's all right.
Yeah. I mean, thankfully, we are not affected as much as some others of the LA fires. But let's just get that out of the way.
Yeah.
No. Air quality here has been bad here in Whittier. For the most part, everything's good, up and running.
Yeah.
Nothing terrible, thankfully. But thank you for sharing the reel on Instagram about like people where they can donate and stuff like that. Yeah. I think what we can do as well is in the description possibly include like maybe some resources as well, just in case people want to donate. I think more than anything it's just donations at this point, because I know that our audience isn't really LA based sometimes.
Yeah.
It's gone everywhere. But people can go and donate because the devastation from these fires. I think, how many are they dealing with now?
4 or 5.
It's like the number jumps.
Yeah.
Every
one
it was like
gets
5 or
put
6.
out and then another one pops up somewhere else.
One of them is more than half contained, I think.
Oh,
I think it's the Cometh fire.
Yeah.
It's the one in Altadena that really needs to they need to get rid of.
Yeah, and I think there's they were saying as of recording this last weekend, windstorms are coming back up. Yeah, so it might get worse again. Hopefully not, but
Stay safe out there, everyone.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah. Have you seen the aftermath?
Be prepared if you're in the area to leave when
Yeah.
notified.
no, the aftermath is gross, dude.
Crazy.
Looks like a war zone.
Yeah.
I think what pisses me off the most is just having to hear what people have to do in order to rebuild their lives after it crosses over.
Yeah.
Just hearing about how like these homes are worth like hundreds of thousands of dollars. They're not even going to get like half of it back in insurance coverage if they have insurance.
A lot of
I was gonna
insurance
say-
companies like State Farm, Allstate, the ones
They
that
all
actually
canceled.
stayed, they canceled
Yeah, they
the
pulled
fire
out.
insurance.
So what's the story behind that? Is that they canceled before the fire started,
Yeah.
or
Well, as soon as they announced there was a fire in California.
I started sending emails saying
Yeah.
that their fire coverage is canceled.
as the fires were going on?
Yep.
Are they even allowed to do that?
They did it.
There wasn't a law against it.
But they're working on one, is from what I heard, or something to bring it back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for them to stick to their coverage, because it's one of those things of they paid every month, they
Yeah.
did everything else, and then all of a sudden the fire actually happens, and they're like, whoa.
Well, it doesn't
the
be too
government
much.
did address it too.
Yeah.
I think where they're going to be held accountable and they have to help pay out some of these people for their insurance. Like
Yeah.
it's a new statute. I think someone in Congress or it was a governor,
Yeah.
Newsom, who actually got that.
Yeah.
through.
Yeah,
I mean, I get it. I understand that there's a lot of political aspects to devastations that happen, even natural disasters, stuff like that, right? But I feel like sometimes people put too much focus on that when the focus should be on like trying to help one another.
the craziest one was when they arrested 20 people for looting
Yeah.
abandoned homes. Because
That's-
people just ran out.
Yeah.
So people went back to like the evacuated areas, and then they just started looting. They started just ripping.
So
through people's
taking
homes.
advantage of the people that are actually like,
Well, so essentially what they thought was the home was going to burn down anyway.
so just take it.
Let's rob them and there'll be no evidence because it would all be burned. So
That's scummy.
it
That's
is.
scummy.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
What was it? The cops ended up finding them, and I think they were. Everybody's saying like they're going to get persecuted to like the highest degree of the
Good,
law.
because those are people that have no brain cells left in them and think
No
that, you know,
self-respect.
well, no, self-respect is out the window. It's more along the lines of just like, dude, these guys are not, these people leaving their homes are not thinking about the materialistic stuff. They're thinking about having to evacuate to stay safe. And most of them are leaving behind memories, photos, and, you
That's
know,
the thing, yeah.
albums and stuff of like things from the past that they're never going to get back. It's like, you know,
Well, yeah. One of my buddies, he said that they just picked up everything and they left. They had like a to-go. They had a to-go bag. And that was it.
oh yeah, because one of them lives in like by Pasadena? Are they doing okay or no?
Yeah, they're in Montebello right now.
Okay. Are they affected by it as much, or is it just like they're just kind of waiting?
They're still waiting in Montebello. Like they haven't gone back.
Okay.
Everything like that. I think they may have gone back just to go check on the house and everything else, but that was about it.
That's about it. Okay. Well, at least they're okay, which is good. I mean, it's tough to evacuate, and I can only imagine what that process is like. Especially
grabbing a bag and jumping in a car. That's basically
and that's it. Yeah. Have you been hearing about the people that have had to abandon their cars on Pacific Coast Highway and like the areas around the first fire?
It looks scary.
They also, and some of them were just saying like, where do we go? And they were like, just go to the beach.
Yeah.
Even the beach. What was it, Santa Monica? Or was it Santa Monica that got burned down?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But everything, but like the pier didn't burn down.
No.
Like that whole like Pacific Coast Highway.
Yeah.
Right there, that all burned down. But if you're close to the water, you're okay. Like sand, it's not, fire's not going to go across the sand.
No, it just turns into glass. If it's hot enough. Yeah. I don't know. I'm hoping what?
Analysts estimate the insurance loss in the Pacific Palisades alone could approach $10 billion in just
I think
insurance.
it's over that at this point, no?
That's crazy.
As of posted a few hours ago from MSNBC. That's
$10 billion?
$10 billion.
You know what the sad part is? I get why they like canceled a lot of them because that's enough money to bankrupt the insurance company.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Even big ones. Like
even
not even like private.
Let's just say
companies.
that State Farm had 20% of that. That's still at least like what, $5 billion, $2 billion, something like that. That's crazy.
But I mean,
I get it. I do get it from the insurance company point of view.
you get it from
It's
a
not
business
great.
perspective.
It's not great.
No.
It's not great.
But at the same time, it's like
That's the purpose of your company, though.
That's
To
exactly.
assure people that
But
you'll
that's the
be
thing.
fine.
That's your job, is to make sure, when a catastrophe happens,
That you can pay for
you
it.
can pay for
Yeah.
it,
Nah.
but not. But the thing is that
California,
no. And this is their excuse. No, we that's our job. Yes, but
when
not
it
when it
actually
happens to like hundreds of people and thousands of people all at once.
See, that's where I
Because
start
we can't
to
pay
think,
it out.
we
just
can't-
can't.
yeah.
That's where I start to think insurance companies are scammy, and it doesn't help their case when they're like, "Oh, we're not scams. We're there to protect people." It's like, well,
We'll
no,
help you
duh.
out.
Yeah,
There's a
okay.
fire- Oh.
So what? You pay
I'll call you
$2,000 every 6 months for car insurance in hopes that they could pay you out in case of an accident that they hope doesn't happen to you because granted they want you to be safe and
Mind
everything
you,
like
it's
that, right?
also illegal to drive without insurance.
Yeah, so it's
So
like
you
you're
can't
kind of
even-
stuck.
Yeah. So-
Yeah. So I mean, it's like I don't know. From a business perspective, I get it. Okay, you pulled out because you can't afford it. But also from like the consumer perspective, I'm like, well, if I'm paying for your service, then I'm expecting you to
the
pay
thing.
that money.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's
It goes both ways, you
it
know.
goes both ways.
Yeah.
It's not a great look.
It's not.
It's not a great look. It's not a great look, especially with like CEOs and everything like that already being in negative light. It's not a great look.
So I guess we'll see more progressive commercials moving forward, or is it?
If they have the money to shoot.
No, actually,
commercials.
there's what was it? A lot of companies, like I think last year or 2 years ago, because my parents actually even said it too, that they don't have fire insurance anymore from State Farm because they canceled them a year ago, and they had to go and get a separate policy from a different company that was out of state.
Your parents?
In Whittier, because they said that because of the way that my parents were explaining it was because there is a high risk of wildfire
In California.
okay. We will no longer be covering for this, for fire.
So if your house catches on fire here, GG's.
Well, that's the thing though, is that the house I live in did catch fire when I was a kid. It caught fire. It went ablaze underneath.
Is that the same house? Or
It's the same house. They rebuilt it.
Oh, they rebuilt. Okay.
Well, because it was underneath. Because the way that the house is built is it's on a raised foundation.
Yeah.
So there's a whole like panel area underneath it with like suspension beams underneath it.
Yeah.
So my dad was redoing the kitchen, and they went underneath to go weld like a pipe. And then my dad called up the guy that was working there because they were going to ask him a question about like where the pipe placement was going to be in the kitchen, stuff like that. And then all we heard was a boom, like just boom, and smoke started coming from the bottom of the house, and then the whole house was engulfed in smoke.
How old were you?
I was 4th grade, so
10.
Probably like 9 or 10 when it happened, and the whole place caught up. The whole place went up. It was a full house. It was me, my grandmother, my aunt, my 2 cousins, my brother, my parents, the worker, and my uncle. We were all at the house, and we all had to like evacuate. But the fire department here, they couldn't find the fire.
They couldn't find the source of the fire.
They couldn't find the source.
Oh, okay. Well, because it was a gas fire. You said,
it
right?
wasn't a gas fire. It's a methane fire.
Oh.
So what ended up happening is that what we didn't know that we know now. Now we know is that Whittier has methane pockets inside of the soil.
That's fun.
And the Historical Society in Whittier did not disclose that fact.
So you sued
to any. Actually, well, they did. Yeah, that's how my parents rebuilt their house. Is they sued them. They also sued the insurance company too because State Farm redid the entire wiring in our house wrong. Same thing with the plumbing. It's one of the coolest things my dad's ever said. Because the plumber came in. The plumber had done all like the plumbing and everything like that, and he was like a plumber / electrician, and like the electrician and everything else. And then I guess they came in to do permits, and the guy from the city was like, "This is all wrong. Like you got to rip all this out and redo it." And then he called in that electrician and the plumber, and they were like, "We've been doing this for 25 years. We know what we've been doing." And he goes, "How does it feel to be doing something wrong for 25 years?" And he's like, "Oh, we're not doing it wrong." And he goes, "The inspector says you're doing it wrong. You did it wrong, dude. Like it's not passing. So that means you did it wrong." So my parents, when their house burned, they then had to sue State Farm because State Farm kept on giving them non-licensed contractors to rebuild their home. And they were giving them like sketchy people.
An insurance company that you entrust to make sure your house is covered is giving you unlicensed contractors to do the work because they're trying to save money.
Yep.
Make it make sense.
No, it doesn't.
I know. I'm just that's a rhetorical question. It's like just make it make sense in life. Like
But it's a thing we're all complacent with.
This is why
because they told my parents that the house should be rebuilt in a year and a half. They didn't move in for 5 years. Jeez. My brother he went to high school my brother went to high school when the house just burned down.
So he didn't get to live in the house.
He didn't get to live in the house until he went to college. And he was going to Whittier up the street. That's when he moved in. I moved in when I was going to high school, my freshman year of high school. That was my first weekend.
This is why I stopped watching channels like Philip DeFranco, who like talk about new stuff, because it's like you hear stories like that where it's like
crazy, right?
Yeah, you're entrusting the process, and then the process screws you over. And thankfully, no one at your home got hurt.
No, the only thing that was terrible was that my grandmother was invalid. And we couldn't get her out. Oh. So we actually had to like have the firemen had to come over and like pick her up and like take her down the stairs because she had to come down the main stairs. Yeah. Because the fire
and those stairs are not.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not easy.
So the firemen had to like carry her down the stairs, in which my grandmother was a horn dog. So the fireman.
Is it relevant detail to the story?
Well, because the fireman put her down and she was like, "No, come back."
Meanwhile, the house burns behind you.
Like the house is burning behind her, and she's like, "No, I think I can't breathe."
Right? I inhaled a lot of smoke.
Come back.
Right here.
My shirt, it's too tight on me.
So hot.
It's so funny too because I as people already know, my uncle is staying with us, and for the longest time we spent a lot of time with my grandmother. He didn't. He lived his own life and everything like that. He didn't realize how many like stories we have of my grandmother just being a perv, of just like funny things that she used to do, of just like groping people and like doing everything.
Is your grandmother still with us or no?
No, she passed away when I was like in like 7th grade.
So how old was she when she was still being pervy?
She was like 65 when she died.
Okay, so there's no excuse. She's like 80 or 90. I'd be like, it's an old.
She's like 65, maybe 75 by the time she died.
Excuse.
No, she was like maybe in her early 60s.
No,
maybe her early 60s, 60, 62.
No excuse. She had mental control.
Oh yeah, no, she knew exactly what she was doing. She knew what she was doing. I was telling my uncle too, because I was telling my uncle that the old cable boxes that used to be in the rooms used to have the code. that you had to type in.
Yeah.
And then he was like, he goes, I don't remember those. And I go, well, I do, because I figured out how to access adult content because of my grandmother. Because my grandmother she knew the code, but she didn't want to get up from the couch. So she called me from my room, told me the code to type into the table box, and then told me to go back to my room.
Okay.
I'm telling you. I feel like
get out.
You're
and I didn't know what the code was, and then later on I came back and put in the code, and then it unlocked things.
And it worked.
And you're like, Grandma.
That's how I knew what Skinamax was when I was like 9.
Nick's special stats: high charisma, high luck. That's all it is.
Yeah,
dude.
it is.
It was funny.
I don't know how you
so funny.
like. You don't. I think what stats did you take away from? Strength,
Dexterity.
Perception,
No, I'm actually pretty dexterous.
So then what?
I'm pretty dexterous.
You're not weak. So you got a good strength.
Oh no, I got
your perception.
Maybe wisdom. I'm not
intelligence. You know what? No, I think you have like a 3 on intelligence because
my
of your
intelligence.
ADHD.
My intelligence is probably my dumb stat. That's probably. I don't know, but my ADHD kind of makes up for it because I just know random facts about things. My autism really kicks in. And it makes me sound really smart. So my autism kicks in and I'm like, oh yeah, but I know all these things. Right. And then you're like, oh, that guy's really smart. And then in reality, you're just
the things
like,
that
no.
are wrong are sounding right because of your high charisma stat.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
Yeah.
You're so...
It's great. I built this character well. It took me a long time. I built the character well. I took points where I needed it.
God, I thought I was putting a handicap on
this character
me.
since I was an adolescent.
Yeah. It's a good character I built. Yeah. It's good. I'm so happy.
It's not on hardcore mode.
That in our lives, I guess.
It's so funny too because a buddy of mine was telling me because my D&D group is starting back up, and I hadn't looked at my D&D sheet in probably like 2 years. Since pandemic, I hadn't seen my D&D sheet. And then he was like, all right, what do you got in your bag of holding? And I go, I could have swore I had like this ring and everything like that. And he goes, I remember that ring. He goes, do you remember what it did? And I go, no. And he goes, you're a terrible note taker. He goes, you don't remember what it is. I guess you don't have it anymore. And I was like, oh, I'll find it. I swear.
What were you guys playing last night on Board Game Simulator?
Oh, we were playing 40K.
Yeah.
The conversations are just... Yeah, you're not a note taker. I can tell straight up from the conversations you were having with Sean.
Oh, I was just telling him to do it.
I'm a really good note taker, especially.
I know you are, but the thing is, here's the thing. I was playing New Vegas last night while we were waiting for Marvel Rivals to
for like an hour.
To update, and they're playing Board Game Simulator. Yeah. All I'm hearing back and forth between them is Sean is trying to move the game along,
and I'm asking a lot of questions.
Nick's trying to ask questions. Sean, there's a conversation. Yeah. There's a point in the conversation where Sean goes like, "Okay, I rolled this," and Nick's like, "No." It's like, this is what it is. No, it's not that. Sean looks at the sheet. Oh, yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, that's right. Pussy. And I'm just like, what the hell, dude? Like, where did that aggressive come from, dude? Yeah. And I'm like, dude.
Because he was being. Like, that's what he was being.
You guys did, like, what, 2 moves in an hour?
No, not even, dude. Because
it's the shooting phase. I'm just shooting a bunch of my stuff
in an hour.
No, because we started with maybe like 20 minutes on the clock.
Yeah. No, because I was playing New Vegas at
we were
11.
having a hard time
logging
for the game loading properly because there was a giant green screen on top just for Nick. So
yeah, because he kept loading in and it was fine.
Yeah.
And I kept trying to load in and like there was a huge green thing that was on top, and I'm like, what the hell is this? And he didn't know what it was. That's why I shared my screen. That's why I was sharing my screen.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah, and then I had to refresh myself with the shooting phase, what to roll, what goes against that. So
I'm not gonna lie. The thing that's really funny is halfway through when he was because he has me pinned. He has you pinned. He has me pretty boxed
up against
in.
the wall.
I'm spread eagle right. It is not a great look. It's not a great look. The tabletop simulator has a function that's called flip, where you can just go and just flip the table and everything just flips over. My finger was scrolling over it so many times as he was just like, yeah, that's right.
I just would have reloaded it.
You take those. You take that point.
Back.
You take that point. Yeah, that's right.
It's so interesting though, because wait, was it you that we were playing the board game, that long board game like 3 years back?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Massive Darkness.
It's because because like I've played board games with Sean too, and Sean is like not an over explainer, but you are too detailed on certain things.
I'm very analytical, and I need to. It's just how my
I'm a doer.
I need to carry things on.
But it's such an interesting conversation you two have because you're explaining things, and then every like minute or so, yeah, no, yeah, okay, that's all that comes out of you. Yeah, no,
because for a while, because when he was telling me, no, because when he was telling me, it was kind of like playing Yu-Gi-Oh when there's like nothing you can do about it. You're like, okay, okay,
just lay there and take it.
yeah, I'm just okay. Are you done with dick fingers? Like, what do you?
I haven't even gotten to the best part of my army. Which
he hasn't. Which
That's where my army shines.
You ever play Phoenix Wright? You ever play Phoenix Wright? Ace Attorney.
The Ace Attorney. Yeah.
I've heard of it.
Yeah. I feel like
it's really good. There's an anime about it too.
Oh, there is.
Yeah.
It's just the game, but it's just animated.
Wait, isn't Phoenix Wright on Steam? You can buy the trilogy, right? Okay, if it goes on sale, yeah, I'll probably get it.
It was good. I feel like it goes on sale every so often for like $5.
Okay. I think Nick in Another Life was a lawyer, but just objected everything.
Objection.
A southern lawyer. Very big.
Nick was a lawyer during the Salem witch trials.
I killed a lot of people.
You did.
There were a lot of witches.
There was a lot of witches. That woman didn't want to sleep with me. It's because she's a witch. That's what happened.
She woke up witch.
I was a witch.
Witch.
I stuck my finger in. Kind of smelled like fish. Witch. It was a witch.
She told me no.
Yeah.
She's a witch.
That's a witch. She got smelly feet. That's a witch.
That's a witch.
She like pink. That's a witch.
That's a witch. Double witch.
Black and gray. That's all we wear.
You know what? I tried to drown her, and then she rose up through the water. That's a witch. That's a witch. I tried to commit murder on her, and she survived. That's a witch.
That's a witch.
That's a witch.
She has a black cat.
That's a witch. That's a witch.
That's a witch.
Oh, she's happily married with her husband. Witch.
Those don't exist.
She's constantly brainwashing him, making him very dumb and dumb throughout.
I wanted her husband. She's a witch.
She's a witch. That's more accurate, probably. Like, during those times, she caught me with a man. Witch.
She made us do it. I didn't want to sleep with my best friend.
Right.
She made me do it with those witch
She
eyes.
put those thoughts in my mind.
Yeah.
Witch.
I'm gonna do it again, but that's because she put the thoughts in my mind. Like until she's
I
dead.
can never go back.
She's making me want.
And
pee-pee.
she unlocked something in me, and now I can't go back.
Witch.
Witch.
The women want to have a say on what goes on in our government.
Witch. They want to vote. Witch.
She was kissing another woman. Not witch, but I'll allow it.
She doesn't want to let me watch. Witch.
That's a witch.
A man looks at you wrong. Witch, but I don't know if that female or witches. No.
I wanted to see some ankle cleavage, and she said 1 shilling. Witch.
I got her pregnant. Witch. Witch. That's how it works in Salem, dog. That's how it works. If you have ovaries, you witch. That's how it is.
Your dinner looked better than mine. Witch.
Could you imagine
She can read.
in Salem?
Witch.
Every little petty thing was just.
Could you imagine in Salem, just every so often, like you just see like the meal come out and like she got a bigger serving than you, and he's just
Witch.
witch, and then she's like no, and then just she gets taken away and he grabs hers. No, it's about the same size.
You know what? It's about the same.
Damn.
Did they ever make you do like papers on the Salem witch trials in high
Yes.
school? Yeah.
We also had to do did you guys ever have to do the society experiment?
Yeah.
Where like everybody has a function and it's a working society.
Mm-hmm.
No.
I had to do it in.
They never did it with that.
I had to do it in religion class.
Religion
Yeah,
class?
my religion class.
Is that
did it.
where you got taught to just call everything a witch?
No, but I did get the job of sheriff,
Oh my god.
which is the greatest job in the world.
That's a job you don't give Nick.
It was so great because I was so rich. I ran that town. I was the criminal underworld. Like it was so funny because they were. Yeah, I was so a dirty cop. Like they were because they were like, oh hey man, like. Because I would find everybody on the smallest of things based off the Constitution that we had.
Yeah.
And I was like, you're gonna have to go to jail.
Constitution?
We had to come to an agreement on a Constitution, and we all had to sign the Constitution. But I would word lawyer them because it was poorly written. So like I would.
How old were you?
I was probably like 14, like 16.
Yeah.
I was like 16 at the
That's
time.
when the
I was
TV
like in sophomore, junior year. give or take. And we were in religion class, so like they were like, "Oh, praise Jesus," and then I was like, "I'll take as much money as you will give me." And then
Jesus?
Pay your tithe. Pay your tithe.
Yeah, and then and then it was
Come
like
on.
pay your tithe and everything else, and then we had like a civilization inside the classroom for like an hour, and then an hour for one hour out of the week, a class period was just our civilization, and like everybody could do their jobs and everything like that, but everybody at every single booth had to give me a piece of the cut.
How'd you work that?
Huh?
How'd you
So
work
you were
that?
king-
Because then they would disappear.
Disappear.
Wait, what? Okay, so this is a religion class.
Yes.
So I'm gonna assume you can't kill them.
Yeah, I did.
You killed people?
Yeah, I framed them for murder. Like I framed them on things.
Why are you saying this so nonchalant? I framed them. What do you want me to say? You know?
Because
They didn't give me what I wanted.
because I
Dire consequences.
What civilization was it that they didn't just straight up like go after you?
Okay, so wait.
So the problem was that they couldn't go after me because I had dirt on everybody. So like I had like
This
helped
was a
everybody.
class.
I had helped everybody kind of do some form of criminal activity
That's what I was gonna ask. How did you get dirt on people?
because they had to come to me.
Like fake dirt or real dirt?
No, like fake dirt, like things in the society where like they were like, "Hey man, we're gonna sell marshmallows in the society, and the society you can't have marshmallows."
You know what you should
So
have
I was
done?
like, "I'll help you smuggle marshmallows in, but I need a percentage of the marshmallows."
Yeah.
Then then later on they were like, "We're gonna get you for for being corrupt," and I was like, "Oh yeah, but then I know where the marshmallows are."
Oh.
And then they
I
were
know
like,
where
"We
your
can't.
stash."
I know where your stashes are."
How long did
You
this
ever-
experiment go on for?
For about a month and a half.
You ever hear of a show called Kid Nation?
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Nick would have been fantastic. in
You
that
were
show.
Dude,
great.
dude, I would have turned that into Animal Farm so quick.
Lord of the
I would
Flies.
have done Lord of the Flies so well. Nobody gonna drop a boulder on my head. That's why I'm well read.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
dude! Somehow the society that Nick builds is not a sexist or
Mine-
like racial
Oh,
class
no,
or
it's
nothing,
just-
but
it's
like
almost
it's somehow he
utopia.
still profits.
No, yeah. that's
As long as I get mine, I don't care.
right.
As long as I
As
get
long
mine.
as I get a piece.
So you're
Yeah.
brave new worlding this.
I was.
Yeah.
And then I had like a little piece of everything, and that was nice. And then once people started getting a little too high, I would frame them.
You got to keep them humble.
When they get too big for their britches, I will knock them down a bit.
Or they would get robbed. And I would be like, "Dang, you got robbed."
That sucks.
And they were like, "Oh, you're supposed to be in charge. Like, why aren't you protecting us?" And I was protecting me.
I was protecting. That's me and my own.
Yeah. I even put people up on like the witch trials. That was pretty fun too. And our teacher was just sitting there enjoying the whole thing.
That's what I was saying. When did the teacher intervene?
He said he would never intervene unless things got out of hand.
Wow.
So he said, "I will not intervene because that's not how society works."
Well, besides.
So God
What-
didn't exist in your society.
So if technically I will not be God in this society,
Yeah.
I will just make sure that you guys don't get
Wow.
like out of control. You guys need to figure out how things
So
work.
you became God.
I did.
In a godless society, you became God.
No, money became God.
Yeah.
I just knew how to manipulate.
You knew how to preach it.
How much money did you make? Do you know? Do you remember?
Huh?
Millions.
Do you remember how much money
I,
you made?
so it went by marbles, like colored
okay.
marbles.
Okay.
So I had like 3 sacks of like marbles full. When the teacher like saw how much, because it was supposed to be like how well you did in the society, and then everybody was putting in like a sack of marbles by the month, like a month and a half in or anything like that, and they were like, he was like, "Oh, you did pretty well. You made a good amount of money." And then he went to me and he was like, "How much money did you make? Because you were only supposed to make $1 a day. So as a civil servant, you should have maybe made a sack." And I was like, I made like 7 sacks. And he goes, "What did you do?"
I will say that society was weak because no one was willing to take the bullet to take him down.
Yeah.
Nobody could take me down. There was
Well,
a
because no
difference.
one was
but
willing
then-
to do so. They
Well,
had.
but then this is what Nick should have done. If he wanted people to take him down, this is when you start a game competition of dueling. You know, you just basically the quick and the dead it.
Well, no, see, what you see, but the thing is that because the people that wanted me to be taken down, the people that wanted me to stay alive and to keep my position were more powerful than those people. So they kept me in my position so that way I could then keep on doing stuff.
So you penguined this.
Absolutely.
Yes.
That's why I love that show. That show was great.
It's a documentary about my life.
I was like, oh, that's smart.
That at 16.
I was like, that guy's smart. That's what I would have done. That's smart.
Yeah, that's funny.
I could have been a great criminal. That's what I learned.
Who's to say you're not right now?
You know what?
Who's to say you don't have a double life?
You know what the funny thing was? In the report that we were supposed to write, I did write that of like, I think I would make a great criminal, and my teacher called me in and said, "This is not that's not what we were saying that you should have come up with."
That's just repressing your learning, though. I feel like if you can acknowledge the fact that you'd be a great criminal, but not become one, that's like a
I was a really good corrupt
you
cop.
Acknowledged it. Now
Like
are you
I was a solid I was a solid Harvey Bullock. Like I was a solid Harvey Bullock.
Yeah.
Like, but like if Harvey Bullock took over like the police department,
but see,
and, like,
you were
did
a good
everything
kid
else.
because you didn't become one.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a comic strip.
Comic
strips.
strips.
It's a portion of the show where you don't tangent for more than 10-15 minutes.
We try.
Yeah.
Sorry, 30
We
minutes.
try.
It's already been 30 minutes.
Yes, it has. Stellar Blades Game Studio Shift Up gifted all of its employees PlayStation 5 Pro and $4,000 at the end of the year as an end of the year bonus. This was revealed by an interview news source from newsneighbor.com.
It was like a weird website, but it was like a porn website.
I missed that entire thing.
Basically, Stellar Blades Development Studio gifted their employees $3,400 in bonuses and a PlayStation 5 Pro.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I found it funny.
Just one PlayStation. They have to fight
A PlayStation
for it.
Pro. No, they gifted them all PlayStation Pro.
Here's your money and one PlayStation.
They were like, oh, there's a
Share it all.
Wait, did they Squid Games it? There was like a pig. There's a pig. There's like a giant pig in the sky. And they're like, oh, for each one of you that murders another person.
This is a Korean game studio, too.
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yes, it is.
Dang,
Shift Up
dude.
is based in Korea.
I didn't know that, but that makes it funnier.
That makes-
Right? That definitely makes the joke funnier.
I thought you knew. I thought you were saying that
I didn't
first.
know that.
I'm like,
I didn't know that, but that does make the joke funnier.
I'm telling you, see? Low intelligence, high charisma.
That makes that joke hilarious.
No, but I think I found it funny, though, because on Twitter is where they shared, where I found that information. And everyone was complaining for two reasons. $3,400 is not that much of a bonus.
In Korea, it
in
is.
Korea, it's a lot.
I know it is, but like people are like already complaining about it. I'm like, okay, let's be real here. It's one of the first few pieces of positive information we're getting from game development
Hold on,
studios.
3,500 like Korean, like
I think US dollars.
U.S. Dude,
That's a lot.
they're rolling in it.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? What is the Korean
Chrissy and I looked this up when
denomination?
We were watching,
Squid Games, yeah.
What's the Korean denomination compared to USD?
Yeah, because
I
some
think
of the
it's
some
like
of the people
$1.20
per what is it?
It's $1 there. $1 US dollar is like $1.20, I think, over there.
So it's only $1.25.
I think so.
Oh, so that's not that much.
$1 is equal to 1,474 South Korean won.
Okay.
Won. Thank you.
Yeah,
So
won.
I'm just saying that's a lot of money.
Yeah,
So
it's like
okay?
$1.50.
In Squid Game, there are people that owe 200 million won.
Yeah.
How much that is in
Somebody
US
owes,
dollars?
I think 4 billion.
Like 4 billion.
So
won.
how much is that in US dollars? We tangented already. But
Probably like
whatever.
$500,000.
Yeah.
2,700,000.
How do you allow that much debt to build up?
One of them was saying that he was dealing with like the stock market and stuff like that.
Apparently, and it is a common thing in Korea.
And
South
gambling
South
gambling
Korea.
is really big. in
I'm
South
on
Korea.
episode 5. I got 2 more. I finished episode 5. I have episode 6.
But I'm just saying, if it's USD, 3,500 USD, that's a lot. They gave them buku money plus a PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
I mean, PlayStation
PlayStation
5.
5 Pro.
Yeah, PlayStation 5 Pro. They could sell that.
Yeah. If they don't already have one.
Yeah.
Or they probably
That's
gifted
really
it.
cool
Yeah.
Or they gifted it.
That they did that.
Yeah,
Do not.
there's nothing
I
wrong
mean,
with
better
that.
that than what we've been hearing about
Game Studios
layoffs.
firing them, and
Yeah.
you know.
Oh,
but you know what?
Christmas is around the corner, guys.
You guys are all
You're
fired,
fired.
dude.
Go find another
Yeah.
job. Makes sense. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
you only
fire.
hear that for American game studios. Though.
No, I think
Mainly.
Ubisoft has been laying off a couple people too.
Ubisoft.
Yeah.
Well, Ubisoft is
Ubisoft.
Ubisoft is a different animal.
I don't have this on comic strips, but Ubisoft did announce another delay for Assassin's Creed
Oh.
Shadows,
Do you know what
March
their stock
20th.
price is now?
So we were talking about this.
So are we.
Last
I
night.
think
Yeah.
I think we should buy into it.
It went down
Again?
more today. Yeah.
Can you look it up?
Is
it legal to talk about this?
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
No, yeah. I mean,
I don't want to be like that guy in Squid Game. It's like, oh, buy this crypto coin.
No.
Right now, is that
do you feel like Ubisoft is too big to fail?
No.
I think that Assassin's Creed Shadows is not going to be that as big of a failure as most people think. Even if it goes up, like let's say that you put in $100 into there, if the stock price goes up by like $5,
I don't think I would buy into it unless it was like 15, like 10 to 15 bucks. I don't think I would buy into it.
It's $2.
Yeah, it's $2.
It's $2 right now.
$2.46.
It was 21.
No.
I'm looking at it right now.
No, I mean like.
Okay, so how
like
much money can we all put in? If we
21.
each put in $25,
that was its highest. Yes.
Yeah, 21.
guys.
Wow,
if we
it
all put in
plummeted.
$25 and buy $100 worth of stock, and then we sell it afterwards.
Well, that's what I did with AMC during the.
Oh, you need to show me how to do that because I want that.
During the pandemic, that's what I did. I put it in AMC and GameStop.
Do you make money?
Yeah, I made like $5,000.
Oh wow.
I made like a solid $5,000 on GameStop, and then I made and then I think I made like another like $2,000 on AMC.
It's not bad. It's pretty
But
good.
GameStop, I had to sell quick though because I was waiting for it to go up, and then they stopped allowing you to sell.
I need to watch that movie.
Yeah, they stopped allowing you to sell.
Money. Yeah,
It's on Netflix.
You just have to, all you have to do is just make a Robinhood account. Sponsored by Robinhood.
No. Next piece of
Sponsored
news.
by Acorn.
Sponsored by Honey.
No,
Count your
but
pennies.
that's endorsed by Ashton Kutcher.
Which
Honey.
one?
Oh, never mind.
Acorns.
Yeah.
Oh, Acorns.
Yeah.
Acorn?
No.
I was like, honey?
Okay.
No. That's
That's a whole
kinda-
nother thing.
Yeah.
Sony announces 2 upcoming projects from the same from some of their most popular franchises. Helldivers will be getting a live-action movie for one, and Ghost of Tsushima anime is in the works and will be distributed by Crunchyroll.
The thing I don't like about that is that it's the multiplayer.
Oh,
That's what they're going to be
No.
making
Ghost
the
of
anime
Tsushima?
on.
no, come on.
That's what they're making the anime on. It's going to be the multiplayer. So like,
That's dumb. There was enough story with the main game.
Yeah.
They should have done that at least like.
Well,
10
Ghost of
episodes
Tsushima
and
2
done.
is not going to go. It's not a sequel to the first one.
No.
it's
I
the
think
Ghost of Yotai.
It's a time jump.
ahead
and
or
it-
back.
Forward.
200 years, I think.
But it
200 years.
would be but that's why it's called the Ghost of Yotai because it's a different place in Japan.
Yeah.
I'm interested in seeing the anime not tied to the main story.
I would like to see that story because it's such
Like
a
a
good
continuation?
story. No, not even a continuation. I just want to see that story, that campaign, done as an anime, and that's it.
That'd be cool. I do feel that there's plenty to talk about
If
because
you played it, you can watch it.
I do think that there is a lot still at the end of Ghost of Tsushima for you to still add on because he's a Ronin samurai that's being hunted by the shogun. That is an anime on itself. That's already just Afro Samurai essentially.
Yeah.
Well, my question would be because I know that there are game developer studios with directors that are very hardcore about what kind of material they do, and I know that there's a couple who have this like philosophy of like, there's no point in retelling the story that was already developed in a game. They would much rather see it another side of it, like from a different perspective, or a continuation of it. Because if it's already been developed that you can play, there's no reason to redo it as an anime or a live
That's
action.
fair.
Yeah.
And a Helldivers live action movie that actually sounds.
In Starship Troopers?
Yeah, no,
it's
everyone's saying
yeah.
Starship Troopers.
It's basically Starship Troopers.
Yeah. There's no point. It's interesting.
I don't know because you can make it Starship Troopers. Also just make another Starship Troopers.
At that
No,
point, yeah.
no, we've had enough. I
mean,
love them. but
Neil
they-
Patrick Harris, bring him back.
Yeah, he's down.
looks
to do
good.
one. He's still down to do one.
Yeah.
I thought he died.
Neil Patrick Harris?
No,
Or
his
character?
His
What?
character in
No,
the,
he's
in the
alive.
movie.
Did he die in a
No, he
movie?
didn't. He was alive.
No? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wasn't he just heavily injured?
In Traders of Mars, I thought that's where he had.
Oh, you're
died.
talking
No, he got scratched up. Him and what's his name? Rico.
I've only seen the first one.
Because I do want to see Rico in like mech armor. That would look cool.
Marauders.
Yeah, that one was cool.
That's the fourth one or third.
Next.
Anyways, yes, Marvel Rivals has retained 90% since its launch of December. Currently has an all-time peak player count of 642,000 players on Steam all at once.
Did they update that?
I just checked it because I'm like, okay, I want to see the player count from the past 24 hours, and that's where it's at.
That's insane.
It beat its peak, and it's this is a
holding
new record.
steady.
It's holding so strong right now.
You know what?
Crazy.
I don't understand people being so upset with this game.
I mean,
Wait, who's upset?
The Concord
jaded people.
Concord people are upset.
Which they
same
don't
thing,
exist.
Same thing with
If you like
Overwatch.
Concord,
Same thing with like some Overwatch players and everything else, where people are going like Marvel Rivals is just a hardcore ripoff or anything else. The fact that we have multiple games that are doing the same thing is competition. Competition is good for any market. It's healthy competition.
And we get to see how lazy game studios have gotten, like Blizzard with Overwatch.
What were you gonna say?
No, I'm just saying that when he said it's a complete ripoff of Overwatch, it is, but we're still playing it. It's everything that's it shows what Overwatch could be.
Yes,
What
that's
it
the
was.
thing.
It's
Could've.
what it
Yeah.
was in its heyday. This is
Yeah.
what this game is. It's showing us like, hey, this is a throwback to what Overwatch was, and then they just got greedy and they fell off the way they did. They killed themselves.
So
Rivals didn't kill Overwatch.
the head of
Blizzard
Epic
did.
Games came out and said that the reason why Marvel Rivals works is because it's fun.
Yeah.
And I think that that's like a major aspect of this game, because we were talking about it while you guys were outside, that right now it's so interesting to see the streaming world be affected by Marvel Rivals, where this isn't your like Call of Duty game that most streamers can jump on and try to manipulate the way that updates work. Because if something doesn't work for them and it makes them look bad, they can complain, and then the developers can make a fix so that it makes them look good. Here you're having like popular streamers struggle or have to grind to get to like a high prestige to like be good.
The most notable, because I was talking to him about it yesterday when we were waiting for lunch, Ninja. Ninja is hardcore struggling.
Yeah.
He is struggling.
Always
struggling.
crashing out, blaming his team, no accountability, and he's a really bad player. He really is.
And you were talking about a guy that placed in Fortnite World Tournament.
That's what I'm saying. And what was it? Because even people like Tim the Tap Man and
He's struggling.
Amaru and all these other people, they're struggling. They're I think they didn't make it all the way to the top. They were making it to like plat.
Yeah.
I think they ended on platinum.
Yeah.
And that was it. And they were grinding.
Yeah. Z-Laner, Doc. Funny that Doc is like talking very positive about this. But he's Dr. Disrespect.
Oh, who cares?
No,
it's Dr. Disrespect. Nobody cares about him. It's fine.
So he's still bringing numbers, but like I'm talking about these streamers that like have an audience, like their approach to this game is kind of like they're tiptoeing around it because they don't know the field yet. And I like the fact that it's kind of being ran by people that actually want to play it rather than streamers. Yeah. To me, that's why Call of Duty's not fun anymore. Oh, yeah. Because it's a streamer-specific game now, especially Warzone.
No, but it also became hacker central.
It is.
You couldn't go more than 5 minutes without bumping into a hacker. Or you couldn't go. I love the idea of are there hackers inside of Marvel Rivals? Yeah, there are hackers that are Marvel Rivals. Are they gonna? But they're dealt with very swiftly. You may get a game with them, and then all of a sudden, everybody in the lobby will get a message saying they've been dealt with. Thank you for reporting them. They've been banned for, X amount of time.
They act fast. For Rivals.
They act very fast, or they have like private servers. I love it. It's great.
The game isn't without its faults, but I think that in terms of the way that you can play this game, it's got a good formula that's good. They've also said that every update from here on out won't be as big as Season 1. So Season 1 has 4 heroes being added, 2 of them now, 2 of them mid-season, 1 map. The pages for the...
We have 3 maps that we got.
Isn't it the Sanctum Sanctorum?
The push.
Baxter Building.
And...
Downtown something.
No, but the Baxter Building and downtown are the same thing.
Baxter Building is being released later, no? Or is it in this rotation? Because I didn't see it.
No, Baxter Building is the opposite way of downtown. You start in the Baxter Building.
Okay.
You are only starting in downtown area, but the other side of like the carry is starting in the Baxter Building, and then you're heading to Avengers Tower.
Andrew said this perfectly yesterday. Everything that Marvel Rivals put out in this one season alone is what Overwatch 2 put out in an entire year, or like so many season passes. Their season passes look small and
it's not worth it.
And it's not worth it. And Rivals was able to do everything that they can't do in one season. One season, they cooked so hard, and it's like we're only gonna go further up from here.
How long did it take you to complete the season pass for season 0? I know it took you like 15 hours.
It didn't take me very long because mind you, I was gone for 2.5 weeks.
Yeah, but I was looking at because I was thinking about this when we were playing last night. I clocked in 21 hours in season 0, and I completed the pass within like 19 hours because I'd played like 2 hours extra. You clocked in maybe, if you say less than 15, I think like maybe 12 to 15, but you bought the premium version of it, so you got increased. You probably completed it around the 15, 18 minute or 18 hour mark.
Maybe.
So the thing that I'm seeing here
and I finished the season pass.
Do you guys feel like this game has good rewards? Like it's rewarding you well for playing?
Well, the thing is that some of the missions are easy to accomplish. The dailies are fun. The idea of the dailies are the same thing. What they're doing is they're using all the stuff from all their other games that work.
Yeah.
Because the dailies from Marvel Snap they brought over. Same thing with Strike Force and everything else. They took the same characters that are popping in these other things, and those were going to be our main ones.
Mm-hmm.
They used all their other games as a source of going. Okay,
wait,
what
is Snap
data?
Net Easy?
Huh?
Is Snap Net Easy? No, it's not, is it?
No, but they're using all that data. They're still figuring it out because the dailies over there still pop up the same way the dailies over here pop up.
Because it's still Marvel games.
Refresh them too.
And you can also refresh them, and those dailies act towards getting your your monthly? I mean your season pass finished faster and doing everything else. All works exactly the same way, and it works well for that dopamine, kick.
No, just hearing the ding ding every like couple matches is like great.
Yeah, it helps with you going like, cool, I'm accomplishing things.
Mm-hmm.
Even if I didn't rank up this match. All right, cool, but I did. But I finished up a couple of missions I needed to do. Oh, I finished up this. Oh, I did this.
Are you gonna buy the season pass?
Eventually. Yeah, I'm gonna play a little bit first. Get back into because I haven't played in like I think over a month.
Yeah.
But
it's interesting because they split it up this time. So you can buy the regular season pass, which only gives you half of every page, or the luxury pass for 20, and it unlocks premium content.
Oh.
So like the black or the Blood Moon Moon Knight skin is a premium. You can only get it by spending $20 on the pass.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but there's other skins that are pretty good on there. It's just I don't know. It's interesting. I like the concept of Marvel Rivals and what it's been doing, and good on them for keeping 90% of its player base.
Have you noticed that Mr. Fantastic, when he's really big, he kind of looks like Luffy in Fourth Gear?
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does. Like this. I wouldn't be surprised if that was like their model.
I think these guys are putting in references because someone said that there's a Chopper reference to the little pink top hat with the moose antlers.
Oh,
they're
yeah.
calling that a nod.
Dude, they're digging in deep for lore stuff because people found, what's his face's name? Doctor Strange's dog. In the Sanctum Sanctorum.
I was walking around there today. No one was fighting.
Bats.
The Doom battle. You know how you in the practice range where you can do the Doom battle and just fight. You can have up to 5 people in there, 4 or 5 people, and we were all just kind of like dancing around to say like, "Hey, I'm not gonna shoot you." And we were all just kind of like collectively looking through the map, looking for Easter eggs, and just seeing the cool details that they put. I thought that was a really cool, wholesome
what's funny?
Experience. Everyone's on the same level of like. Let's just take some time to appreciate the map we're on right now because it's brand new and I want to look.
The funny thing is that XUC actually spoiled that. On accident.
What did he spoil again?
He spoiled that. He spoiled the Doombot section because he was like, oh, I'm gonna get the new characters and I'm gonna put them in practice matches. I mean, in the practice zone, and then he clicked the Doombot section, but I don't think he was supposed to because as soon as he dropped in, he was like.
Pick your character.
Yeah, and he was like trying to click it, and he was like, "Oh no, and then like he exits out real quick, and then like he changes screens.
Was he sponsored by it? Like given for early access?
For Twitch Drops too. He played the beta, and he's affiliated with Twitch Drops. So if you're watching any of his streams during a certain hour, you can get rewards.
We should be affiliated with Marvel Rivals. We're literally like
blowing them.
We're not big, but like
I'm building some clips right now so we can make a.
Fun little reel.
I did take out the audio though, from us talking.
No, include that audio because it's funny sometimes.
No,
is it because
too long to edit. Too long to edit. If
I thought it was because you were trying to get out those those insulting comments that we were making.
Oh, the words that you were using, Sean? Not okay.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I don't give a.
No.
I'm not gonna lick your dingleberries. I already told you.
You said you were.
Only if we lost the game. We didn't lose.
Next.
Moving on. Christopher Nolan has confirmed that his film, The Odyssey, will have a budget of $250 million.
I saw a funny
which will
meme
be one of the most expensive.
about this. I saw a funny meme about this where it shows the actors that are gonna be in that movie, but it's just people playing the actors, and they're all like this, like. It goes when Christopher Nolan says everything he uses is practical effects, and it says the monsters coming at you and stuff. Like
the actual the storm that he has to endure as he's traveling from islands.
That's why it took so long.
Yeah,
he went on the Odyssey. He found the Gorgon.
Yeah,
he found the labyrinth.
What about that island full of women? I wonder how he's going to do
He
that.
found them.
He found the sirens.
He found Troy.
Yeah.
Found the Cyclops.
He found the Cyclops. He found everything, dude. He is Odysseus. He has a shield and everything. It's gonna be
God
real.
to show up. Poseidon.
Yeah. It's insane.
He found Poseidon.
He found Poseidon.
Yeah.
He got a 70 millimeter in there, and he was like, "Just pretend I'm not here."
Yeah.
The boom guy's just like terrified. He's like,
See what you don't know is that he discovered time travel. That's what you don't know. He just went back and he just filmed it.
oh, okay.
It was before it was written, and he's just there. Just don't mind me.
He did
Don't.
for Oppenheimer.
Already.
That's what he did for Oppenheimer.
Yeah, yeah, that's actually Oppenheimer.
Yeah, it was actually Oppenheimer.
Yeah, that was
God,
actually
dude.
Oppenheimer.
I'm excited for the Odyssey, dude.
You know what? It's so weird, but knowing that Christopher Nolan did it, I
Yeah.
know I'm gonna love that movie.
Yeah.
It's gonna be super weird though. So because like he made movies like Interstellar and everything else. So I don't know what weird thing he's gonna do to the Odyssey, or is he gonna stick like strictly to the book?
Interstellar in that same group of movies that he's directed, because I feel like that's not just a Christopher Nolan film. That's a Jonathan Nolan, Christopher Nolan film.
Okay, fine.
Do we have any details of the script already?
No, he hasn't finished it or
What
anything.
if it's not like the Odyssey that we're thinking of, and it's like 2001: A Space Odyssey?
No,
He would never touch Kubrick.
there's
He
no.
respects Kubrick.
I think a lot of like directors respect Kubrick so much that they would never touch it. It's like remaking Full Metal Jacket and going like, oh yeah, we're gonna make it, but in the Afghanistan war instead of Vietnam.
Wouldn't work.
It doesn't work.
Yeah. Or another Clockwork Orange. We would have had another Clockwork Orange remake.
I thought we're getting a Clockwork Orange too.
Are we? No.
Why doesn't someone do a movie on Brave New World?
It's a lot of sex.
Seth Rollins has confirmed that he is not in the
Final.
cut of A Brave New World. Quote, the script
Yeah.
went through a lot of rewrites and reshoots.
Yeah.
What if he's just lying?
No, because he seems really bummed about it.
Comes out
I've seen his interviews.
and he's gonna cash in.
No, because I've seen his interviews, and you can see he's kind of irritated about it. And not only that, but also he mentioned in another podcast too, where he was like, I don't know if my NDA still like is a thing.
Yeah.
He goes, if I'm not in the movie, does my NDA still active? But apparently he's already.
He just can't talk about other things in the movie.
But apparently he's already auditioned. He said.
Oh,
He
for
said that
another part?
my character got reworked and it might be used in other Marvel things, and I've already auditioned for those things.
Okay.
Well, at least they're not just throwing him away.
Because he got his character got wrapped into Giancarlo Esposito.
But we don't know what his character is yet.
Well, that's what he said it was.
Okay.
Because he even said, he goes, my character got combined with another character, and another actor took both those characters, and then in the reshoots, that's how they got that character. Which the only actor that got added later on in reshoots was Giancarlo Esposito, as head of the Serpent Society. So.
Yeah.
28 years later has released a new image featuring Aaron Taylor Johnson. New details confirm Cillian Murphy will not appear in the first film. Danny Boyle will direct the third film in the trilogy, and didn't think people would mistake the zombie in the trailer for Cillian Murphy, saying, "Don't be silly." The rest of the world outside of the UK is relatively uninfected.
Really?
Yeah.
And there was another piece there as well that I included, right?
Nope. Oh, at the bottom. Yeah, Aaron Taylor Johnson's character is taking his son on a rite of passage trip to show what happened to the UK.
So I'm interested in that last part more than anything because I remember
The
28
fact that
weeks.
It's a trilogy now.
No. Well,
It's turning into a trilogy.
That's what I was telling you. Is that like this? Like there
It's
were
an epic.
There were
It's the next epic.
They snuck that detail in where it's like, oh, 28 years later is going to be a 2-parter. They like said it in an interview and then like never discussed it again.
Would it be a trilogy? That wouldn't be a trilogy then. Wouldn't that be a saga?
A saga, but I think now it's coming out as a trilogy because I told Sean, I'm like, I thought it was a 2-part, and he said, oh, I thought it was just one movie. It's like, no, they're like
studios
slipping
like
stuff.
to do trilogies when it comes to stuff like
Yeah.
that. Three
Which-
movies
But is this a movie that really needs to be a trilogy?
No.
Kind of no, and I would say 2 parts because I would like, especially with the last detail of the rest of the world uninfected. We left off with 28 years later, knowing that the quarantine didn't work and that the infection would then start to spread in Paris. So how quickly did whatever organization is taking care of this prevent the spread from going global?
It never happens. It always. You ever played what was it called? Disease or Infection?
Yeah, it like goes quick.
It
or
goes
even
quick.
Planet of the Apes did it.
Yeah.
At the end of the end
Everything.
credits.
It spreads across the planet like
Everyone dies.
wildfire.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
how is it that they're uninfected? Because now the only fear I really have is if they go Dead Rising on us and make this like the rage infected people are like used as, entertainment and stuff.
No, unless they went Dead Island with it, where they made like a quarantine zone and they got very like strict. Any sign of infection, you get killed and thrown into the water. Because in Dead Island, they kind of did the same thing. I don't know if you remember that. If you remember that movie with John Leguizamo.
No, I don't.
And then they had like the big old bus that they would drive through the island, and they would like
That's not. Wait, what did you call
That
it?
was
Is that-
no,
is
that's
that-
Land of the Dead.
Land of the Dead. There
Dead
it is.
Island's a video game.
Yeah,
Dead-
I was like,
I'm
I don't
thinking-
remember
I'm
that in Dead
I'm thinking
Island.
of I'm thinking of
There was talks
Land
about
of
a
the Dead.
Dead Island movie.
But
though.
Land of the Dead is the one I'm talking about.
George A. Romero.
Yeah.
I like
They
it.
just
That's a
released.
good one.
They
Yeah.
just released. Speaking of George A. Romero, they just released a documentary of George A. Romero's script of Resident Evil today.
Was it released or a trailer?
It was released. It was a trailer, but now it is available to digital today in the U.S. I
For
checked.
download or can you stream it somewhere?
You can stream it. No, you can't stream
like
it.
a
You
movie?
have to download. Yeah, it's an actual documentary they made about George A. Romero's script of the first Resident Evil. Apparently, it's amazing.
Really?
It's so good. Apparently,
I'm down to watch it.
He had a good idea, but for some reason, when the studio got hold of it and they were gonna do it,
Probably just wasn't Hollywood enough.
it wasn't. That's
Was
the
this
thing.
written before the separate of this continuation of the Living Dead series and then the conflict he had with one of his producers or something? The
Yeah,
one
'cause
that
it
ended up
took
doing
place-
Return of the Night Return of the Living Dead?
It took place like around in the 80s. He wrote the script.
Okay, so it's
when
like
the first game came out.
Oh, wow.
He's going with that.
So he involved almost all the characters.
You know what it could have also been? It could have been technology wasn't there too.
I think that's a
It
possibility.
could have been too expensive.
Because the house,
not enough.
the
not to
Arkham
control.
House, the Arkham House could have has a lot of trapdoors and stuff like that, monsters, that giant snakes and stuff like that.
plant
That
monster,
they couldn't do it at the
tarantulas,
time.
the Cerberus.
Yeah, that would have been a lot of stop motion and stuff. I don't really know if they would have been able to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, for Land of the Dead, that's kind of what they did, where they had like barriers, and like they walled off an entire area, and they were like, "This is," and it was basically society. It was- so I mean, I can see London doing that. I mean, England doing that because it's an island.
Yeah, if they box it in, I mean, they won't be able to swim. So if any other big countries like us, Mexico, I mean,
as
how
long
would
as
they
it
get
didn't
there?
go from plane to plane or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only weak point would be probably like the sewer system. Like the sewage systems would probably be the only like weak points.
Remind me again. There were people that were immune to the rage virus, right? In 28 weeks.
I think
Yes.
that it wasn't that.
Yeah.
I think that
it was
was.
the wife, and then the husband, when he kissed her, he ended up infecting himself, thus killing her because of the virus.
Because she was a carrier.
she was,
but she
carrier,
wouldn't get
and
infected.
but she was not affected.
Got it.
Yeah.
But also with 27 weeks later, with 27 years later, I can see that more people have been immune to the virus.
Yeah. Also, what's your deal with 7? You said 27. It's 28.
I don't know.
You like 7?
I love that number.
Lucky number 7.
Yeah. I don't know.
Speaking of numbers that look like 7, Fallout Season 2 has been confirmed for its production to be on hold due to the fires in LA.
What looks like 7?
The number 2?
Okay, that's arguable.
That's arguable.
I'll give you that.
It's half.
Okay.
Okay.
I feel like it's that Barney Stinson thing. Where he goes like, whenever you say something, whenever you make a fake statistic, it's always this.
Yeah.
I think it's that.
Yeah, no, Fallout Season 2. Production on it is paused because of the LA fires, which means that this is going to be delayed.
Well, they'll
for a
have
couple
a more accurate background.
You know what? I was thinking that, and then I'm just like, that's a really messed up thing to say.
Have you seen? Have you actually seen people taking footage from the LA fires and then putting anime music behind it?
No, really.
And they re-edited it. They re-edited it as like an anime opening.
Oh my god!
Show me
afterwards. They didn't put like the Fire Force theme.
They did.
Oh my god!
It's the Fire Force theme.
Jeez.
And then they put and then they put the Fire Force characters.
No.
And that's it for comic strips.
Cool.
This issue 230.
Well, let's move on to our main topic. There's a lot of TV going on, dude.
There's a lot of TV stuff, yeah.
A lot of TV.
We're at that part where nothing will happen for the next month in movies. Because Nosferatu was like the last one we saw. The next movie, I think we're probably gonna all see Wolfman.
Yeah.
At the end of this month.
The monkey.
Oh,
I saw the trailer for
do
that.
you want to see that?
So stupid, but I'm so interested.
Yeah, I want to see it.
Have you seen the trailer for it?
Let's go.
I think didn't it show it during Nosferatu?
It did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think so.
It's like so bizarre because it's like literally the monkey's cursed and it kills people in like weird ways.
So basically, the premise is about these two twins that dealt with this monkey when they were children, and it's been put away, but it comes back in their lives again, and they have to deal with it because it's killing people around them. Stuff like that.
See, I miss good old fashioned horror films like that have just like a very dumb premise.
Yeah, but Nosferatu I loved because it wasn't stupid horror.
No, but that's an art house movie. I wouldn't even consider that horror.
Well,
that's an artistic.
That's the thing. I tell
suspense.
I've been telling people or my customers when it comes to Nosferatu, the only people that will really like it is film nerds and film snobs and film buffs
and people that think they're film snobs.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's the thing because we enjoyed it in certain ways and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and I think that's the beauty of it is that everyone took a piece and enjoyed aspects of it. You didn't have to like the whole movie, or you could like something different than I did.
Yeah, but I love D-class horror.
Yeah,
like just a schlocky horror.
Yeah,
terrible premise, bad special effects. It's amazing.
Yes. Horror schlock.
Yes.
The monkey seems interesting.
I watched Jack Frost 2 the other day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dude. I forgot how bad that movie was.
Yeah, killer snowballs being thrown at you. And the only way to kill the killer snowballs is with bananas.
Yeah. I forgot. Or when he has sex with a woman with...
Yeah.
And he pushes her head on top of his nose and it impales her. Dude. Some of these movies are awesome.
There's a scene where in the first one, a woman is taking a bath. And he hops in the bathtub with her, but in water form. But you find he has the carrot is floating in the water. You have the little eye coals are floating. Yeah. So he assembles and he's holding her. But the thing is, where's the carrot? He doesn't have the carrot here. It's somewhere else. And he's like this. Slamming her against the wall. Yeah.
It's wild.
That's the first one?
That's the first movie.
You know, it's super funny. Have you listened to How Did This Get Made, right?
Yes.
So How Did This Get Made was going to do a Christmas episode this year. So what they said to their audience was watch Jack Frost.
No.
Yeah.
So what they did was the Michael the one that they were going to be doing was Michael Keaton's Jack Frost. Because they came out at the same time.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Michael Keaton's Jack Frost and the Jack Frost 2 and Jack Frost the horror film came out at the same time. And so they were like, yeah, 1994's Jack Frost is what we're going to be watching for this episode. So then they're in the show and they're doing Jack Frost, and then you hear Jason Mantzoukas and he goes, Why does it seem like no one knows what we're talking about? Did anybody watch the movie? Yeah. And then everybody goes, no. And they go, did you guys watch the wrong Jack Frost? Yeah. and then like you hear all of them go, yeah. They were like, you thought we were going to talk about that? Yeah. Why? And then they just changed the topic where they were just like, forget the Michael Keaton movie. Yeah. Let's talk about this.
Yeah. That was great.
I used to love that cover too. That was a great cover in the movie theaters for Jack Frost.
I
You
think
ever see
I
it?
barely recall it.
There's the holographic one where it would be Jack Frost,
yeah.
and then it would change, and then it like all the
fangs and stuff,
all the fangs and everything.
Yeah, I remember that one.
That was a great cover of the movie.
I'm surprised you don't have that in your poster collection somewhere.
The what?
The
poster?
Yeah.
I don't think the posters were holographic. Only the DVD. Only the VHSs.
The VHS.
Only the VHS box.
Worth a lot.
Probably an original. Probably.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we have a month with no movies, pretty much, and then February comes around and we'll have Brave New World, and I think The Monkey comes out. But no, January was the start of new TV and TV series wrapping up. Creature Commandos finally finished.
I liked it.
You haven't seen it yet, right?
I haven't seen it, but he showed me,
Yeah.
so it's pretty cool. I liked it, what they did.
So
they
I'm like, I told you yesterday, I'm like 50-50. Not that it was a bad ending, but I'm just like, okay, I haven't had that feeling in a while of like, I want more.
Yeah.
Because it ends in a way where it's just kind of like we finished wrapping up the character stories of how they became the way they are. We are leaving you with the death of certain people, and this is the beginning of something new. And I'm just like, okay, but did it have to end this way? Yes, because now I'm interested in a season 2.
Yeah,
it's just hurting me because I really want to watch more.
I think what it is Creature Commandos was the window to see through to the DC universe of this new James Gunn universe, and Superman, when we watch Superman, is the door of us going through the door.
Actually, it's Peacemaker.
Is it Peacemaker?
Peacemaker is first, then it's the other one, because they said that what James Gunn said is that Peacemaker is going to answer everything on like where everything else
where
is.
everyone's at,
where everybody's at, but also with the timeline and everything like that. Like that's what Peacemaker is going to answer.
So
and then we're going to go into Superman.
So are we getting Peacemaker before Superman?
Yeah.
So, but isn't Superman coming out in July?
Yeah,
Peacemaker's coming out pretty quick.
Yeah,
Peacemaker's already finished.
But they haven't announced a date of.
No,
for it
but
to
I'm
come out.
assuming you probably release that maybe in May.
Or if it connects directly to Superman, put it a month before, or 2 months beforehand, finish it off. Superman comes out, that answers. Peacemaker answered all your questions. Cool.
It's showing that it's set to release August 2025 for Peacemaker season
So then it's
2.
Superman and then Peacemaker.
Oh, so then I guess it is Superman.
The other way around.
Yeah.
I like your analogy that Creature Commandos was the window, Superman was the door. You said it or you?
I did.
You did. It was a good analogy.
Yeah.
Because it's like you're right. It's pretty much like giving you. Because the complaints are for Creature Commandos that a lot of people have been saying is that it's
too Suicide Squad.
It's too James Gunn. It's too James Gunn.
Well, that's what Creature Commandos is that's
what were you
the whole
expecting
point.
it to be?
No,
That's the thing,
I'm not complaining about
I'm
it.
just saying, like, to the people that said that it's too Suicide Squad-y, what? Like,
was it not a bad? Because you said it yourself. It's like all of a sudden people are saying that Guardians of the Galaxy was a bad movie. Like I thought we all loved Guardians.
Yeah.
I thought we all loved Suicide Squad.
Well, because people are complaining about Superman.
Yeah.
Saying that it's too close to Guardians 1, where it feels too much like Guardians 1. And once again,
I don't know how that is.
I
Where do you get that? Is it because there's too? The one thing I hate is people are saying there's too many characters.
It's just rage bait at this point.
Yeah, and
I
I'm
feel like
just
it's just rage bait.
I hate that so much. I hate that complaint. Oh, there's too many characters. So it's not going to focus on Superman. Well, it's going to focus on Superman, but it's also going to focus on the DC universe.
And what
That's
I
what
like,
you want.
yeah, and what I like so much about this is that Creature Commandos you can put in a separate pocket.
Yeah.
And it follows that thing, that concept that James Gunn has said that you don't have to watch everything to have things make sense.
Yeah.
You can watch everything separately, and it'll still all belong in the same universe. If the writers and directors choose to kind of connect it to one another.
Yeah.
Creature Commandos is a very extreme show with a lot of violence that you won't see in other movies. But again, we're talking about monsters that have no self-control. The Bride. We have what's her name, Nina. We have Dr. Phosphorus, GI Robot, a Nazi killing robot. You know.
Yeah, Nazi.
Yeah. So like these are people that are like super super extreme.
Yeah.
So you're gonna get the grotesque violence.
But my thing, and I really do like the idea that because from what we've seen so far, is that James Gunn has already said every single title will not be the same. They're not going to be. They're all going to be taking place in the same world, but they're not going to be. They're not going to be the same thing.
Yeah.
So each movie is going to be its own different thing. We're gonna have horror. We're gonna have thrillers. We're gonna have noir movies. We're gonna have comic book movies.
They're all shared universes, but the tones of the film.
Yeah,
and I think
it's gonna be very different things. And I love the idea of that because Creature Commandos did that in the sense of it showed you how dark it can get. Mm-hmm. It showed you how much heart the show could have and how much heart that the universe could have. It showed you how funny the universe could be, but it also showed that there's places that they're not afraid to go. Oh, violence and cursing, we're totally okay with.
It exists.
It exists.
That's the problem I have with like Marvel TV right now, is that you have, and for years, they refrained and had to hold back on like the amount of violence, the amount or the language that was used.
For kids.
Because exactly, it's like, well, that's not how comic books or this world works. Like, you're not gonna. How can you tell me with a straight face that Kingpin doesn't kill people? You can't.
He shoots a laser beam that doesn't burn them at all, and it's a shot.
Just knocks him out. Bro, just knocks him out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Because like they did that in the 90s shows, in the cartoon animated shows. Like you notice how in Spider-Man they had like these laser guns?
Yeah.
Because they at the time they said we couldn't show actual guns shooting bullets and stuff like that.
So they had to be that.
They had to be like these laser beams.
Well,
in New York City.
Yeah, that was the same thing with Batman and the animated series.
Yeah.
That's why they're like these weird misshapen guns.
Yeah, it doesn't look like a gun, but he's shooting it.
Batman Beyond was one of the first ones that had it, no?
No, that still had laser beams.
No, I remember.
No. Okay, in the first episode, Bruce Wayne does use a gun.
He uses something that looks of a gun, but it shoots lasers.
Is it?
No, it's a bullet.
We might.
Is it a bullet?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think it's an actual gun.
Is it
I think it's an actual gun.
I think because I remember them having that conversation and going like, it needs to be a laser gun, and they were like, no, it needs to be.
No,
a gun.
you're right. You're right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
there is an interview with
an
interview with the showrunner who said like, we cannot have Batman shoot someone. And he said, try me. And they did it because
it wasn't that he shot somebody. He pointed a gun, and they were like, "It can't be a gun. It can't be. It has to be like a laser phaser or something like that." And he goes, "No, it has to be a gun because that's the whole point.
You have
it has
the photo
to be a
of it?
gun.
Yeah, looking at it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a gun. I remember it very vividly. It's a gun.
Yeah.
I remember that.
I think everyone that's seen that show will remember that scene
because
it was like it was so dramatic as it's like.
But after that, it's all lasers and everything else.
Oh yeah,
well, you know what? He never shoots the gun. He just aims it.
He just aims it.
I thought he shot it.
No.
And it doesn't. It looks like a gun. It's gun shaped.
Yeah, it's a gun like.
It's gun like.
It looks like a Colt.
But if you were to put that next to another gun, it wouldn't be like, oh yeah, this is another gun.
It's meant to look like a gun, but he never shoots it, so you don't see a bullet.
That is so okay. You're right.
Yeah,
to me, it looks like a gun. Yeah.
But it gets the point across.
Yeah, it
but
does.
It looks, it looks kind of lasery.
But that's what I mean is that like you have like these DC shows crossing lines that work for its benefit. Mm-hmm. And again, I don't understand why there's a complaint when we're just getting to the appetizers of this 3-meal course. Yeah. Like this is one show.
Because Zack Snyder didn't do it.
Well, it doesn't matter. Like it goes back to the people, and I know we've complained about the fans multiple different issues. Mm-hmm. I don't understand why there's a complaint and how you're valid in your complaints when you're not even giving these shows a chance. We get it. Even James Gunn has said it, that if Superman does not work, his DCU is pretty much going to be scrapped.
No, but that's not the case.
I have high hopes.
Yeah, I think we all do.
Superman's going to be a hit. Yeah.
Yeah, and Creature Commandos ended in a way that was good. Again, if you're wanting more, I haven't had that feeling with any show in a really long time.
So far, I mean, except for Peacemaker. Mm-hmm. I really enjoyed the end of Peacemaker.
I did enjoy it.
And I was looking forward to what was going to happen next at the end of Peacemaker.
But I feel like Peacemaker left me satisfied. This one didn't. Mm-hmm. Creature Commandos left me... Huh?
What about Invincible?
I feel like... Because I don't want to make it sound like my feeling is a negative one. It's just different.
No, but I get what you mean. But I do see where that is, where it's... I want more.
Yes,
it was too short. It was way too short. The mission was too short because they went, dealt one thing, came back, left again.
Yeah,
dealt with that.
It's like if you had another 2 episodes, you'd be too full. So you'd much rather like, okay, I'd much rather have the satisfied feeling.
It's one of those things of like, oh man, I could go for another slice of pizza,
but
I shouldn't.
Yes, there you go. Yeah.
But I shouldn't, or else I'm going to be pooping all night.
I'm gonna throw up.
So I'm gonna throw up and poop all night. So I think I'm good.
Right?
And
I'm gonna poop on myself.
yeah. And then when they give you that extra slice, you're like, oh, that was a mistake.
You start doing that whole.
Oh, daddy don't like. No, but and I 100% understand that feeling.
Don't do that face, because that face is too close to reality.
That's how I feel. I'm not gonna lie. That's how I feel when I eat an edible and have no self-control. And then it starts wearing off.
Oh no, that happened to me.
And then you're just like so full, and you're like,
I got liberated to the point where I like legitly raided the fridge, and then
you ate everything.
Yeah, it was when Mandy went to Disneyland, and they were like, "Oh yeah, it's fine. You know, if you're hungry, just eat whatever's in the fridge." No,
and you were like, "Oh, say less. Say less."
So then Mandy came home. This was like 5:00, and I'm out of it, but I'm like, and she's all like, "What's wrong with you?" Like, I ate too much. I'm like, I gotta throw it out.
You're praying to every god.
I was
like, dude, just
the
like...
last option was please do.
The only thing I've ever the only thing that's worse than that is that moment you're in the bathroom and you're like, oh, I gotta do it. Oh, and then you just hit it in the back. You hit the back of your throat and it's.
Oh yeah, and one time that happened where I wasn't fast enough. I just went
all over your hand.
I'm like holding half of it. Like,
I've done that.
Oh my god.
It's like it's like that moment. It's like the ending of Temple of Doom, where it's like you have the heart in your hand.
Yeah. But it's just the food.
But it's just wet, slimy food. You're just like
thick like oatmeal.
Yeah. And then you're like,
and then the backsplash gets your hand. Like,
But back to Creature Commandos.
Didn't make us want to throw up.
It didn't make
left
me
us satisfied.
It left me very satisfied. I enjoyed the hell out of it. I'm excited to see where like Rick Flag is and where the Creature Commandos are.
I want to see when one of these characters makes a live action debut.
Which is going to be the first one is going to be Rick.
Yeah.
Because he pops up in Superman.
Oh, he does? Is he cast in it?
Yeah,
Frank
Grillo. There's already set photos of him with Ultraman.
Okay, he better have that white hair.
He has black hair. That's the thing that's weird. Is that he has this black hair. That's why I was saying
surgery.
Well, no, that's why I was saying because at the end of it, he's
They'll fix it in post.
Well, no, because
Fix it in post.
Yeah.
No, but I wouldn't. You know what? I wouldn't mind if they gave him a super soldier serum. Because at the end of Creature Commandos, he is pretty messed up and his back was broken.
Yeah.
So I can see them going, cool, we're going to give him a super soldier serum or like some kind of like venom or something else that like makes him younger.
I feel like Amanda Waller would have something like that.
The other thing
and that would be kind of sick. Oh, speaking of which, he finished the Batman the other day.
Oh, and
he was
Robert Pattinson?
Yeah, he was super excited because he saw green fluid.
He saw what?
He saw the green fluid at the very end, and like he just injects himself, and he's like, "Is that venom?"
No.
And I was like, "Oh, bro, it's adrenaline." And he's like, "Oh, it looks like venom." And I'm
it's
like,
venom.
"If they say it's venom, it's gonna be venom. That's gonna." But
if it's an unrefined version of venom that's
was green.
not venom yet. I mean, there had to have been a reason
So,
why it was green. You just directors are not going to throw in a color for whatever reason. Everything has a purpose in every shot.
In the lore of Batman and Bane, Batman does take venom before Bane comes to Gotham. So
that's venom.
He actually gets addicted to.
He gets addicted to venom. Yeah, he takes it in pills and stuff like that.
Because it's what's helping him stay awake.
Yeah. And then he needs it for like that extra boost to help because there was children trapped in like I guess like an abandoned railroad that was getting sinked in, and there was like a boulder that he had to move.
And he couldn't lift it.
He couldn't lift it. He was trying to do with all his might, and he said the children died, and he could have saved their lives if he was just strong like Superman.
It's believable because once he does take it, he does go into full rage.
It's not a stretch.
It's not a stretch.
Okay, here's the thing though. If they never mention it again,
yeah,
cool.
Yes.
It's just adrenaline. But if later on they go like, oh, that was Venom, that works. I would 100% go, yeah, that makes sense.
Limbo for me where it's like, if people want to say it's Venom, I have no problem with it.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But he loved it.
Good.
He did love it.
Should.
He loved it. Yeah. He's excited to watch Penguin now.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I'm glad. Yeah. I swear to God, if you would have come into the show and been like, I didn't like the Batman, I don't know if I would have lived.
I like good movies.
Yeah, you will not be back in 2026.
It stinks. It
stinks. It's
say it with a straight face, dude.
Back to Creature Commandos.
No, okay. Well,
I think Creature Commandos is a great TV show because I liked this more than I liked What If. Because What If,
that's
what
a low bar.
But
better than What If.
Well, as a comparing of two brands
shows that
came out, yeah.
Two superhero brands that came out because I feel like Creature Commandos gave me what I wanted, and What If never hit the mark. It never hits the mark. No matter how many seasons it gets, it never hits the mark on what I want to see from a What If story.
I feel like What If doesn't want to say, but there are speculations that production was influenced a lot by
Kathleen Kennedy.
No, by the people that gave the money, not producers, but the money bags.
Advertisers.
No, like they were saying, the brand, like, we want to include this character and that character and this character, and then studio heads were like, instead of focusing on these characters and the stories you want, how about we write these stories because we're going to include them in the overarching story.
See, because my thing is that I wanted to see more of what if Spider-Man, became Khonshu. Became the Moon Knight. Like that'd be sick. What if he became Moon Knight? All right.
Well, they showed him in those scenes, like certain ones that they were doing.
Anything you can say and come up with right now is gonna be.
Yeah, like what if that happened? Give me a Blade episode, man. Give me something that's fun. Give me Daredevil, but he could see.
Yeah.
like what about that?
What if Daredevil was dead?
Daredevil was dead.
I want to see Daredevil as Frank Castle.
No, hang on.
I want to see Daredevil as Frank Castle.
You know,
that would have been good.
No.
That's good.
I want to see Happy Hogan as Frank Castle.
Daredevil's doing something.
No, Happy Hogan as Iron Man.
Happy Hogan takes over.
He is Iron Man.
No, yeah. What?
Like what if in the What If they show Daredevil that he's deaf? He's just doing sign language on top of a building, trying to talk to someone, and everyone. So it's like
he's monologuing in sign language.
The hell is he saying?
Yeah.
Kingpin's a mute.
Yeah.
Right, and Daredevil's deaf.
Yeah.
Oh my God! What about if Kingpin is like a homeless dude? Like what if Kingpin didn't have money? What would happen?
Yeah.
No, or be watching him.
You know what? What if Kingpin was hit by the slime? I mean, the sludge that made Daredevil.
Oh.
What if that happened to Kingpin instead?
Mm-hmm.
Kingpin as the Daredevil.
Yeah, like what would have happened?
What if Daredevil?
He met the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's what happened.
What if Fisk is just a regular witch dude, and Daredevil just thinks he is a villain because he can't hear anything. He just looks at him and be like, "That guy looks evil." And the whole time he's just terrorizing a dude.
Or what if Hawkeye killed Natasha in Budapest?
Yeah.
Like what would have happened if?
Or what if Natasha lived and Hawkeye was one to die?
Again,
or,
everything we could say.
That's what I'm saying. Like there's so many interesting things that you could do with What If.
Yeah.
And they did the lamest versions of them.
But see, there was a good story in this season. The one that I like. They could have.
You mean
done
the last
better.
episode?
No, it
like
was
the last
it was
two
the
episodes?
Shang-Chi and Kate Bishop episode.
Okay, that one was pretty good.
I hated
the cowboy
ending.
one, right?
Yeah, I hated the ending, but I loved the concept.
It was a good concept. It was just really lame.
Yeah, it didn't. They couldn't deliver.
So was it good then?
The concept is good.
No, I feel like, and I've said it before, What If episodes should not be 20 minutes. They should be an hour.
Yes.
They should be a two-parter.
Yes.
They should just do what old Justice League episodes used to do, and they should just cut them in half and leave you on like a dun dun dun, and then like the next episode happens next week, and we go, okay, cool, this is what happened this episode.
I feel like they had the idea for What If as if like we're gonna just do a bunch of stories, and then they were just like, but what if we made one big story as like a last like like plot twist, and it's like it didn't work. The only thing that they got out of it was Captain Carter. Peggy Carter, yeah.
She becomes a Watcher.
Yeah.
And Storm becomes a Watcher.
No, but she's like a popular item that gets sold now.
Their excuse for making Peggy. every season, it's always her. It's always
because
always,
she sells.
What
Marvel has
because they push her,
Marvel,
because they
Marvel has
wrote
done
it.
that in the past.
Yeah, but then then they went like, oh, you know who we have access to? The X-Men. Let's put Storm in there.
Let's put Storm.
How does that make sense? I don't know. Just Storm. Everybody loves Storm.
Character.
She's an X-Men character. Everybody's gonna freak when they see Storm.
Yeah, everyone's freaking out
You know
about
what they
Fantastic
did?
Four now.
Yeah, and they did.
Yeah.
They freaked out when they saw Storm. And
I freaked out when I saw Fantastic Four too.
You know
For
what?
Marvel
I would have
Rivals.
actually been super excited if they would have done it where what if Mr. Fantastic became Doctor Doom? Like,
What if Mr. Fantastic or what
like,
if
went
Reed Richards
evil?
and Sue Storm divorced?
There's a
Well,
lot
they
of
can't do
stories
it
like
because
that.
a Fantastic Four movie hasn't come out. That's why they won't do that.
Yeah, but I
And then
mean,
Sue Storm
Namor,
took all of Reed
Boca.
Richards' stuff.
what if it was a messy divorce?
She's
Who
getting the
gets the thing?
She took the invisible jet. She took
I just want to see
everything.
the thing in a crate, and he's just like, "Who do I go to?"
It's just like the Venture Brothers.
Yeah, Mom and Daddy are fighting.
Moving on to more positive TV, The Rookie came back.
The Rookie did come back.
You guys watched this last episode, right?
Yeah.
You're
Yeah,
not
it was
watching
good.
The Rookie, are you? No. Don't
He
do
doesn't-
that face.
he
Why do you
doesn't-
do?
he
Like
doesn't
every time
like
you
that
don't
kind of-
watch something, you're just like.
No, because he doesn't like that kind of TV.
I know he
love-
does. It's just you don't need to make that negative face. It's a
okay.
good
You-
show.
You know what? You make that negative
I'm not,
face. I
I'm not
appreciate
saying
it.
it's a bad show.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's a
Okay.
bad show.
It's just you're very
It's
expressive.
just garbage.
Yeah.
I love Nathan
It's just
Fillion.
garbage.
I'm not calling it garbage. It's just not
not-
my
it's
cup
not-
of tea
it's not
for,
his cup
for
of tea.
television.
I miss
it
The
gives
Rookie.
me Grey's Anatomy vibes.
I did too.
Okay.
It was
You
The Rookie was good. I'm excited to see where they go with it. It's interesting how they're writing characters off that are busy with other things.
Like who?
Oh, remember the
Nolan's
social media-
wife?
Yeah, and then the social media dude that became a rookie. That was.
Aaron-
Yeah. What happened to him? Because
he
what
got,
happened?
he got another show.
He's doing another show.
So hold up. What was his end of season 5?
Nothing. He was just he passed. He was just doing like the
He,
footwork.
remember he remember he got injured in that big one. And like that, remember
In the
when
wedding or whatever?
No. Remember he got injured in the alley. He got shot.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then he came back. So then he started seeing the therapist.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he started seeing the therapist in the end of last season, that's when he found out that the therapist was selling cop secrets.
Yes, I remember
And
that.
then she was blackmailing cops.
Yes.
So the end of it ends with them taking down that therapist.
Yes, I remember.
And then so what they said on this one is that he left because in North Hollywood nobody knows that he was her patient.
Oh, so he might not come back.
He says
He says that he's not a season regular, but he may come back.
He could come back in other episodes.
Okay, that's a smart way to write him off.
Yeah.
And then Nolan's wife is on Coast Guard because.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't she pregnant?
I think she's pregnant in real life. I
Yeah.
think that's what it was.
But also, I mean, it's smart. It's like, oh, she's on duty to make sure that she's not affected by Oscar and the ex-husband as
Yes.
well.
yes, yeah, it's a smart way of like, okay, we can do that. We can do this subplot without her by just having her be like, okay.
I'm
she's
also
on.
super happy that they didn't just deal with this subplot from the last season immediately in the first
They
episode.
Yes.
tried, and then it was like, oh, it didn't work.
Well, it was their focus, and then that's when the whole the plutonium found in the car became
Yeah.
a
But
thing.
but I
Yeah.
but I didn't like that in the last one because I thought that was a really cool season ending for the 2 seasons ago. And then you were like, oh man, like it's a whole group that's against like
the cops.
the cops, and it's gonna be like a cool whole season thing. And,
And
then
they
the
come to
first
fi-
season,
yeah.
first episode come back, you were like, oh, we dealt with it.
Yeah.
And
But they come to find out it was just because they wanted to
Like they
keep
were
them
thieves.
busy because there was a robbery happening.
yeah. They were, like,
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the reveal and stuff like that.
yeah, like
Yeah.
they were like
They were
that-
hackers.
Yeah.
They were hackers that were robbing. Very John McClaney.
Yeah.
They were pretending to be terrorists so that way they can rob something.
I missed 2 parts of the show. The first part was just the intensity of the way the episodes are filmed.
Yeah.
I love the way that they show like how they breach into like homes and the communication.
Yeah.
Like it's a lot exaggerated because cops don't do that, but you get that atmosphere that they really take into detail.
I like seeing Chen as a training officer.
Yes.
Yes, it's great.
And I also miss Bradford.
Oh, as a training
Oh my
officer.
god, dude,
Yeah.
that's like my man crush in that show, dude. Freaking love him.
That's just your
Yeah.
crush. You're not. What? It doesn't matter that he's a man. You should crush.
He's my crush, dude.
crush,
Just
yeah.
talk to me that way.
If you were to
dude.
walk, oh my god.
Dang, that's the first time I've heard something like that from Brian.
Whoa.
Yeah, he's in love.
Dude, you want him to walk up to you in the locker room, don't you?
Yeah.
Dude, when he called,
Drop him.
Spread him. Boot.
I swear to God, if I ever ever hear you saying "Call me Boot" to Andy, I'm fucking leaving. I am never. Oh my god! It's just, like that's if that's Andy's pet name for you, I would be so upset. Let's go, Boot.
Brian's like, okay.
Pick up the dog poo, Boot. Okay. Whatever you want.
Yeah. Change this diaper, Boot. Okay.
I want Andy to be driving with the baby.
Oh my god.
I want Andy to be driving, talking to him, just be like, oh, and then just hit the brakes and go, I've been shot. Where are we, Boot? And turn to Bryan and just be like,
yeah, I'm hemorrhaging.
I'm hemorrhaging, Bryan. What are you gonna do with the baby?
Yeah. But I'm dead.
And just to see you freak out with the hardest erection of him going like, I'm so scared, but I'm so turned on right now.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Dude.
Oh my god, you should send that to Bradford. You should send it to the
Dude,
Make a skit.
and then send it to him because they are very active on social media.
I know they are, dude.
They are all very active on social media.
That will be a repost.
Yeah, that would definitely be a repost.
when you and you could just have it when you and your wife are Bradford fans on the Rookie.
Dude, you know who she likes? She likes Andy likes Lopez.
That makes sense.
No, Lopez is great.
Yeah. But it's so interesting because like we both like characters that are kind of hard asses.
What do you think of this?
I like Nyla.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
like Nyla.
She's not in the show.
No,
she is. Never mind. She's not in uniform. She's a detective.
She's a detective.
Yeah.
I would watch a show of just
Nyla and Lopez.
Yeah.
The detectives. Detectives.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of the subplot of Wesley thinking that Angela is cheating?
I don't think it's a good one.
It's a weird subplot.
It's a weird subplot they're doing with him. I feel like it's gonna lead to something else. I mean,
is there a reason for Lopez to cheat?
No, but I mean, I was talking to Maddie. I go, well, I mean, I'm not shocked because she's an attractive woman. She's a strong, attractive woman and stuff like that. How can you not develop some sort of feelings?
We're working around her.
Yeah, you're working around her and stuff like that. You know?
Yeah, but she's also very like I can understand the uncertainty because she's very like blunt about things.
Yeah.
Like when he asks, like, "Are you happy?" Mm-hmm. Not at this moment because of what you're asking me. It's like, well, it's blunt.
Yeah.
But bear in mind, this guy has emotions too, and he has insecurities, and she doesn't necessarily see it that way. So I can see it.
Because in the audio tape, did it say like I had another dream about her?
Yes.
Or it just said something about a dream. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's been infatuated for her for weeks, and I guess
it's not going away.
It's not going away, and then he had a dream. It was a tense in dream, and he was going to go into detail of what happened in it, and that's what
he
paused. Yeah.
Yeah.
The show's well done. I'm excited to see what the season's going to bring.
What about the new recruits? How do you feel about the?
So I didn't care for Texas, dude.
You know what? It's funny how they wrote it like that, and then at the end you find out he's homeless.
Yeah.
And you're like,
kind of like it.
All right, now I feel for him.
Now I'm like, you know what? I kind of want to see how that progresses later.
You know what's funny though? Yeah. Kind of reminded me of Lethal Weapon.
Right? Yeah.
Kind of reminded me a little bit of Lethal Weapon of like, okay, cool, all right, cool text, like Riggs, a little bit of Riggs.
It's good to see him be Bradford's trainee because it's like it brings back old Bradford of just being a hard ass.
Yeah.
Well, he's still a sergeant, even though he's been demoted.
Yeah, but he's not working for Metro anymore.
No,
he's being a consultant for Metro.
And then did the watch commander get demoted too?
No, he's a lieutenant.
Yeah,
he's a lieutenant.
He got promoted.
He got promoted, which I want to see him as captain.
Yeah, I think that's what they're going to be doing.
I think that by the end of the season he's going to be captain for what?
Wasn't he supposed to retire?
Yeah, that was
originally he was, but
that was like his big thing. I think what honestly was going to happen is that I think that actor may have had other roles that were like lined up, and they were like, "Hey, on the off chance that like I have to leave,
write me as I'm going to retire.
Write me off as I retire. Then somebody else comes in. I can become like a guest spot.
Yeah,
and I can come back every so often. Yeah. Now it's one of those things of like, man, this show really took off. It's been going 7 years.
Yeah.
I'm not leaving. Yeah. Like this is like the steadiest work I've had in years.
I think all the actors are shocked of how long The Rookie has been going. That it's basically ABC's number
because
one
it's a cop show in an era where cops are looked negatively, and it does it so well that like
it doesn't. But I think it works so well, and I think it really resonates in the audience because it doesn't shy away from bad cops.
Yeah,
and it admits. we do have
there are
bad
faults.
cops.
I will say
we do have bad cops, but just because they really do emphasize the whole thing of like just because there are bad cops doesn't mean all cops are bad.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, because of those bad cops, the community thinks that all cops are bad.
So the only thing that I cannot stop thinking about whenever I watch an episode is like, it feels like every single episode has a shootout somewhere in LA. And I think about the people that watch the show that are not from LA and think like, oh, is this what LA is like? And I'm like, have we been so desensitized by what happens in Los Angeles that we don't even notice it?
What, shootouts?
Yeah.
When was the last shootout here in California? California has insanely strict gun laws.
Look up the last shootout. Shootout.
No, legitimately, this episode was them trying to like take a nuke, and then they were like in downtown, and there was like a huge shootout.
I thought it was so funny because on New Year's, Justin whispered in my ear, right as the counter went down.
The ball?
Yeah, right as the ball was going down, and the year's about to get rained in, and then like as it comes in, and he goes, "Now just picture Jack Bauer trying to deactivate the nuke." and then right as one hits, he goes, and then he cuts the line. And then you see like all the fireworks and everything like that, and he goes, "Jack Bauer just saved the day." And I just started laughing so hard. And Monica was like, "What are you guys laughing about?" And I'm like, "You wouldn't get it."
Have you watched 24?
I've seen a few of the first season.
I
saw it when it was on TV. I would see it.
Would you watch it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you would like 24.
Oh, no, yeah, totally.
I think you would like 24.
I like 24.
But for the rookie, I do like the new characters that they've introduced. I like where everybody else is kind of going. I like that the sergeant is moving up. I'm hoping that by the end, Bradford is the new sergeant inside of in that area.
Yeah.
You know, following that lineage, because right now he's in his he's being disciplined. He's doing his disciplinary stuff. Yeah. I like I said before, I like seeing Lucy as a training officer. It's a very different way. I'm excited to kind of see if Lucy starts tapping more into Bradford's training methods of going like, I don't know why he's not picking this up. Like, why is he not learning this? And then her going to Bradford, and then Bradford kind of using a little softer of a tone with Texas, and then because they're going off of whom fails most.
Like,
that's
you
their
would have thought
competition.
that it would have been the other way around, but it's not. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that would kind of work. Of like, she has to use some of Bradford's, and he's using some of hers, and you know. Both styles work together really well.
I forgot that Nolan's trainee is one of those stones and astrology.
Spiritual.
Yeah,
because she's like Gemini and Pisces. I'm like, oh my god, she's one of those again. I forgot.
Yeah, you know what? I thought it was funny because they really milded her out.
Yeah.
They really mellowed her out, because before it used to be like, oh yeah, I can see like all these vibes and all these things and all these.
I just feel like something's wrong over there, and somehow she ended up being right.
Yeah, and it was one of those things of like, I think you're just perceptive.
Yeah.
And stop talking crazy. like don't say it's like a shadowy vibe around the trunk. Be like, no, there's blood on the trunk. That's why we should do stuff about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I did notice that they mellowed the way that they wrote her out a little bit more. I like that she's in short sleeves. I don't remember her playing Clothes Day, though.
No, they didn't do it.
Did they not do it? Did they do her playing Clothes Day?
They didn't do it playing Clothes Day because they were. I think what happened was something else was happening.
Did her play Clothes Day happen because when Nolan was shot?
I think that's what it was.
Because remember
the one time he got shot in 6 seasons?
Well, no, because the Plain Clothes Day usually happened. Plain Clothes Day happened, and then I think like a couple episodes later in the first season, they were short sleeves.
Well, no, they still have 3 months. No, she has 3 months of training left.
She could do it. She could do a Plain Clothes Day.
Technically, in this,
because I really want to see Nolan's Plain Clothes Day.
Yeah, same. I would like to see what he did.
How he does his Plain Clothes Day, because I think that would be hilarious.
Yeah. And I'm excited to see if the show, because it looks like the show's not going to end anytime soon. I would love to see the trainees that Nolan gets over time as well too. Yeah. Like he's going to get one more. I think he's going to get one more.
I feel like the show has 2 more seasons.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Because they're building up that Nolan is getting old.
Yeah.
And he's feeling it. Mm-hmm. Like, that's something that they built in this episode, where when she jumps over the fence,
he goes like, no,
and like he looks, but also it's a callback to season 1.
Yeah,
which I thought was funny.
Yeah,
because remember, his first training officer said, "Never jump over a fence if you don't know what's there." Mm-hmm. And he went through like multiple things and crashed into them, and he went, no, I'm not doing that again. Yeah. And then he went around, and then that's when he goes, do it smarter, which is also a callback to Bishop. Because I think Bishop, that's how she caught the other person. Yeah. She drove her truck around and caught her.
Well, the rookie's going off on a good start, which is great. We have like maybe 5 more minutes before we reach 1:45.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's just quickly go over Abbott Elementary. Okay. It's mid-season premiere. They brought in the cast of Always Sunny.
I thought it was an okay episode.
Yeah, you haven't seen it, right?
I haven't seen it, but you can go ahead and talk about it.
Okay. Yeah. It was a good episode. It was interesting because you can tell that the writers were having a lot of fun with how they were going to introduce these characters. I think we kind of predicted.
I did see the reveal of why they're there.
Yes.
Like, they got community service.
Yeah,
I think we predicted correctly who was going to interact with who.
Yes.
Because Mac was with Ava, the principal.
That was funny.
Frank
was
with Frank was with George and the janitor, which was great.
That was a good little combo.
D was with what's it called? The main teacher. I can't remember her name.
Oh, the main actress?
The main actress.
Yeah. Why can't I remember her name?
And then Charlie was with everybody else.
Was with the 2 actual teachers that
the 3 actual teachers.
Oh, yeah, the ones that are actually teaching. And he finally learned how to read.
And he knows how to kind of read.
At a kindergarten level.
At a kindergarten level.
And he died in the part because there's a funny part. And I think explaining it it doesn't sell it as well.
Yeah.
But basically, he's in the library, and that's when he meets Barbara, the kindergarten teacher. And so he starts getting very like nervous because like, oh, do you know how? He's like, yeah, I know how to read good. I know how to read good. And he's like, oh, is there like a hall pass or something like that? She's like, yeah, it's on the wall. The camera frames it. The hall pass is right here.
Yeah.
So the camera is facing the hall pass. Yeah. And Charlie never reaches it. So the camera pans over and he picks up the same tablet that looks exactly the same. And it says live, laugh, love.
And he picks it up and he walks away. and then they were like, oh, okay, so maybe he can't read. And then they were like, do you think he knows how to read bathroom? Yeah. And then they go, Charlie! And they run after him. And then they go to run after him.
That's funny.
I'm excited because Dennis is obviously doing something.
Yes.
Throughout the entire episode. And because he's not in the episode. As soon as the cameras pop up, he goes, what's up with the cameras? And they were like, oh, well, we have like all these things and yada yada yada. And he just goes, yeah, I'm not taking part in that. And he walks behind
I know about
the
consent.
Yeah, and he goes, I don't consent to being filmed. So then he goes, I'll just stand behind the cameras for the whole week that we're here. And then they keep mentioning that he keeps talking to certain people. When they were talking about the crossover, they were saying that apparently the Sunny episode takes place on the same week. So it's from different points of view. So we got the Abbott Elementary's point of view on this one, which was a lot more wholesome, and it was the teachers and everything else. Couldn't cuss. This Always Sunny episode is going to be what the gang is doing during this week and what their thoughts are on everything else, and it's going to go into what Dennis was doing behind the cameras.
Oh.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It's
okay.
Yeah.
And that's how their crossover is going to work. So that way when you watch it, it's like it's watching the same thing but from 2 different perspectives.
Yeah, 2 different versions.
Did you see the end credit bits of them having interviews?
I saw a little bit of it. No.
Okay, so there's a funny one that Charlie does, which he's still wearing his graduation gown. And he's just like, yeah, man, I can't wait to get out of this school. Because you know how they got a new scoreboard?
Yeah,
he's like, I can't wait to get out of this
because they play basketball with ghosts.
They play basketball with ghosts. And he looks at the scoreboard and it says 0-0.
Oh, my God.
And I'm like, what the heck, dude? Frank and the janitor just had like the best lines too because they were butting heads.
Yeah.
You're trash. No, you're trash.
Speaking about the guy that works with trash.
What was it? Oh, we're going to put onion powder and paprika in the soil. You're going to make it delicious. The raccoons are going to come back. And then all of a sudden they catch Frank inside of like a cage that they were trying to catch the raccoons in. And then they were like, they go, what happened? He goes, well, I came to get some of that delicious soil that you said.
But then it got cold, so I covered myself in these pelts. The ones with urine in it, it's like, yeah.
They're more comfortable than you think.
Oh, my God.
It's a good episode. You don't need to watch any of Abbott Elementary to get it. You just could watch that one. And it's pretty
I was thinking I was going to do that.
Yeah,
they're pretty solid episodes.
Abbott Elementary, great show, great start to the mid-season.
They were into Abbott Elementary.
Yeah,
Watch it.
It's a well-written show.
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah,
I always really like the Drugs Day one. I think that one's one of the funnier.
The Drugs Day one?
Like when they have the
is it Dare?
It's like they have their version of Dare come on.
Oh my!
And then all of a sudden, and then they were like, "Oh, is it okay if I do weed? Well, maybe only a little. So it's okay if I do drugs, but only a little." And she's like, "Yeah." And then all of a sudden, you hear the principal who is always wrong, and she's like, "Are you on drugs?"
All the other teachers start to admit that they all do some sort of drug.
Yeah. And then they're like, and then they go like, "Oh, my mom does drugs. She takes this." And then she goes, "Your mom doesn't do drugs. She just has herpes."
Oh man.
It's a good show, and they do hit on like topics about teachers and stuff like that, which is good. Yeah,
they really do touch on it. Oh yeah, that's also really funny in the episode too, because they're like, "Oh, we can't say no to this, and we can't kick them," because the idea is that obviously with Charlie and everybody else, why don't they just kick them out? Like, why don't they just like have them go home? It's community service, but like, why can't we just kick them out? Because they're terrible at what they're doing. And they're like, if we say no, the district will never send us help again. Because the district sent us help. Yeah. So now that we send them home, anytime that we ever need help, the district will just say, "Well, we've sent you help before, and you won't do it," which is a real district thing.
The other good thing about it is that they like acknowledge the fact that the Always Sunny crew are not good people.
Oh no,
like,
they're terrible.
They're terrible people, and I think people miss that factor of the show where it's like, "Oh, these guys are funny, but I don't understand why they're all assholes." Well, because they're meant to be assholes.
Well, they're all criminals.
Yeah, exactly. What was the crime that they did?
Terrible people.
So because what did they say they did? They said they lubed up something and then tried to clean it up with a bunch of t-shirts,
something like that. And it's like, yeah, that's criminal. And he's like,
yes, that's what the judge said too.
Yeah, yeah, actually I think we are criminals. But to wrap up the show, Abbott Elementary, great. Creature Commandos ended well. The Rookie's off to a great start. TV's on a roll.
Yeah,
and,
it is.
We'll hopefully talk about Skeleton Crew when it ends this week.
It should end this week, which also, that's really good too. I'm enjoying it.
We'll talk about it next week because I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it.
I'm enjoying it a lot more than I thought.
You need to get caught up.
It's good. You'll like it. It's very Goonies. It's very Goonies vibe.
What's the elephant kid's name again? Neil? Love Neil. Neil.
What a space name. Neil.
Yeah.
Dude, Neil is such a good character. If you ever watch it. It's good.
It's so great too because I feel like when they were doing the episodes, they didn't give the kid actor any direction, and they were just like, just do what you would normally do.
Just be a kid.
Just be a kid. Yeah. Because you can see in the background, he's always doing something so funny. Like, what was it? Like, they're all having this very intense conversation, and then Neil picks up a blaster, and then, like, he's, like, looking at it, and then he, like, realizes he's holding a blaster. And then he's like... and then, like, he looks around to see if anybody saw him holding the blaster, and he's just like...
I like, I think it's, like, in episode 1 or 2, when they're trying to be quiet, and she's like, "Can't you just like pinch the tip of his trunk so he can stop talking?" He goes, the trunk is not where I talk out of." And I'm like, "Where are you talking out of?"
That's in episode 3.
Yeah,
that's in episode 3. Yeah.
I would be like, "That's racist,
right?"
Why do you think we all talk out of our trunks? What's up?
We'll discuss it next week.
It's a good show. Yeah. I love that show.
Well, guys, this brings us to the end of issue 230. Thank you so much for joining us here. Keeping Up with the Nerds. Don't forget to check out our socials: Instagram, Facebook, and xmen.com. Check out our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Keeping Up with the Nerds. Check out our website, keepingupwiththenerds.com, and check out our audio platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Podbean. With that said, if you made it this far to the show, be aware we do have some news to announce within the coming weeks, so please subscribe to the channel because there is some exciting news on the way.
Yay!
Yes.
It's okay.
Jesus.
It's good. We need him to undersell.
Yeah.
We'll give him a hug after.
He's overhyped. I don't know why.
Sean, wrap it up.
This has been Keeping Up with the Nerds, issue 230. I'm Sean.
Rene.
Nick.
This is Bryan.
And we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
It's okay.